Good morning. I want to talk to you about overflow. Now, when I was, a few years ago, we used to live in Queen's Park, as did our friends Jason and Liz. And at the bottom of their garden, they had this grapevine, and it had heaps of grapes on it. And sometimes I remember eating a few of their grapes, which was lovely that they could share them with us. But the thing about Jason and Liz's grapevine is that it actually wasn't Jason and Liz's grapevine because it crept over the fence from the house next door. And the thing is that it wasn't actually the house next door's grapevine either, because it had actually crept over from the house next door to the house next door. And it had grown up and it had come all the way along the back fence across that section and into this section. And so the people who owned the grapevine, that family, they enjoyed the fruit of that grapevine, as did their next door neighbours, as did their next door neighbours' next door neighbours. And to me, this is a wonderful illustration of overflow. And it's a theme that if you look for it, you see that it actually runs all the way through the Bible. God has not created us to be ornaments on his mantelpiece. He's created us to be fruitful and to overflow. Think about fruit. What's it for? Well, it nourishes and it multiplies the life of the plant through the seed that is in the fruit. And we have this privilege to be able to nourish others and also to multiply the life that God has put in us to other people. Let's look at Ephesians 2, verse 10. You might want to look it up. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to get slides. Ephesians 2, verse 10. Chris or Sarah, or probably both, have already talked about this in our work, session through Ephesians. Ephesians 2:10. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. The NASB says, for we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand so that we would walk in them. So you see, we are God's good work, and he has created us for good works. You could say that our good works are actually his overflow, through us to others. And we are also created in his image. That is, to be like him. And what is God like? Well, God is holy. God is love. God is relational. He is creative. And he's gracious. So if we are made in his image, then we are designed to be holy. We are designed to love and to be relational. We're designed to be creative and to be gracious. That once sin is dealt with, that is our factory setting. That's a great thought, isn't it? For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand so that we would walk in them. So what is the key to this life of fruitfulness and overflow? Well, John 15:5. You'll know this one if you like to memorise scriptures. This one for you, mate. I am the vine. This is Jesus talking. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Some versions of the Bible say, if you abide in me. And abide is the verb form of the word abode, which is your home, the place where you live. The modern day theologian Frederick Dale Bruner suggests that a good translation of that phrase, remain in me or abide in me, could be stay at home with me. You like that? Stay at home with me. I wonder what that would look like for you. To stay at home with Jesus, to spend time listening to him, to learn from him, to be coached and encouraged by him, to be nurtured, to grow in love and obedience and submission. This is what Jesus invites us into, and he promises that if we stay at home in him, we will bear much fruit. Several hundred years before, Jeremiah put it like this: "But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. They will be like a tree planted by the water that sends out its roots by the stream. It does not fear when the heat comes. Its leaves are always green. It has no worries in a year of drought, and it never fails to bear fruit." I'd just like to share with you a story, one story just to finish with. I hope I haven't shared the story already, but if I have, it's a goodie. And there were probably a lot more people involved in the story than just me. There were. I'm just going to ask Leanna to read it, because I always get a bit teary-eyed when I get to this part. Here it is. Thanks,
Leanna. So this is a letter that Simon received. A message. It says, "Hi Simon, Emily Stone, nee Collinswood, helped me track you down. My name is Jess, and you were my kids' pastor for a little while back at SABC 20 years ago. I know this is way out of the blue message, but I'm actually writing a book at the moment, and in it I talk about how I met the Lord. And I wanted to share with you a little of how you impacted my life and how your yes as a kids' pastor has impacted the kingdom more than you would have had any idea of. One Sunday, you asked kids in kids' church if anyone wanted to give their life to the Lord. And when I was 11, my sister Mel and I put our hands up and said yes. You led us through giving our life to Jesus. I've loved the Lord ever since that day. I actually went on to become a youth pastor myself. I became a full-time youth missionary in rural Australia, where I shared the gospel with thousands of kids in schools and in prisons. I've travelled as a missionary all over the world, and I'm about to lead a team to go back to the Middle East for the 3rd time. I'm in my final year of ministry college in California at Bethel Church, and I lead a ministry called Bar Ministry, where our team go out into the bars of this city every Friday night to share the gospel. We see so many men and women meet Jesus every week. God also had a super unexpected plan to see me share the gospel online, and this ministry has reached millions over the last 2 years. Simon, it feels a bit odd to share all that, but I really wanted to share this with you to encourage you and thank you. Your belief that even kids should be offered the chance to respond to a relationship with Jesus saw you lead one child one Sunday, that's me, into the kingdom. But you had no idea that your yes to Jesus as a kids pastor would mean seeing so many others into the kingdom and meet Jesus through a little blonde 11-year-old you led to the Lord. And this is just my story. I can't even imagine how God has multiplied your faithfulness in pastoring a group of children, and how many others have met Jesus through all the kids you led to Jesus. I hope this has been encouraging to you. Thank you for offering me Jesus 20 years ago. I needed him so badly. Jess.
So see, that was God's goodness through our children's ministry team to a girl to, it's like the grapes across the back fence to the next door neighbour, to the next door neighbour's next door neighbour. And who knows how far that goes. They say that you can count the seeds in an apple, but you can't count the number of apples in the seed. Yeah. So I just want to encourage you. We were designed for overflow. So stay at home with Jesus and be fruitful and just be all that God designed you to be.